Japan, the land of the rising sun, is known for its technological cities, traditional cultural values, and stunning natural beauty. All these features make it one of the world's most famous tourist destinations, attracting millions of visitors every year. Interestingly, being such a popular tourist spot is a relatively recent development for Japan. In fact, from the 17th to the 19th century, the country was almost completely closed off to the outside world. This period is called Sakoku, and during this time, Japanese culture developed significantly, the economy expanded, and society underwent profound changes. Thanks to this period, Japan gained the cultural richness that has lasted to the present day. So how did this island nation emerge from a long period of isolation to become one of the world's most developed and touristic countries? Here is the story of Japan. The islands that make up Japan have been inhabited for about 40,000 years. The first people to arrive migrated from mainland Asia and brought skills like agriculture and metalworking, laying the foundations for permanent settlements in the first kingdoms. By the 3rd century AD, most of southern Japan had consolidated around the Yamato region, ruled by an emperor. In its early history, Japan was largely influenced by cultures from mainland Asia. Buddhism arrived in Japan from Korea in 552. Later, in 645, the Taika reforms reorganized the political system of the country based on the Chinese model. Initially, the imperial palace moved with each new emperor, but in 794, Emperor Kamu permanently established the capital in what is now Kyoto, marking the start of the Heian period, which lasted nearly 400 years. Over time, the imperial court became overly focused on its own intrigues, weakening governance across the country. Power gradually shifted to local nobles, and a feudal system emerged. Powerful clans like the Taira and Minamoto rose to prominence. During the Heiji Rebellion of 1160 and the Genpei War from 1180 to 1185, these clans fought for control over the imperial throne. The Minamoto clan emerged victorious. Minamoto no Yoritomo was granted the title of shogun, great general, in 1192, effectively placing Japan's governance in his hands. This began the shogunate period, which would last nearly 700 years. At the start of the 13th century, Japan faced one of its greatest threats, the Mongol Empire. Kublai Khan demanded that Japan submit, but the request was refused. In 1274, the Mongols launched an invasion at Kyushu. The tide of the battle turned thanks to a powerful typhoon called the Kamikaze, divine wind, which destroyed much of the Mongol fleet. In 1281, a second invasion attempt was also thwarted by another typhoon. Although these victories saved Japan from invasion, the cost of war left the shogunate in financial trouble, and many samurai were not paid. In 1333, Emperor Go-Daigo tried to reclaim authority, but soon after, the Ashikaga shogunate was established. During this period, real power lay with the daimyo, warrior nobles controlling various regions. Alliances and betrayals among the daimyo often led to civil wars. The Onin War, beginning in 1467, divided the country into small feudal states. This turbulent era is known as the Sengoku period, or the Warring States period. In 1543, Portuguese traders arrived in Japan and introduced firearms. These weapons had a major impact on daimyo wars. Christianity also entered Japan during this time. Japan's reunification was carried out by 3 important leaders, Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and Tokugawa Ieyasu. Nobunaga died in 1582. Toyotomi Hideyoshi took power and managed to unify much of Japan. When Hideyoshi died, a power struggle erupted again. The Battle of Sekigahara in 1600 ended with Tokugawa Ieyasu's victory and the establishment of the Edo-centered Tokugawa shogunate. The Tokugawa period, 1603 to 1868, was marked by peace, economic growth, and cultural development. However, social control was strict. In 1639, Japan closed itself off from most foreign countries, allowing limited trade only with China, Korea, and the Dutch confined to Dejima. Japan continued to develop through the 17th and 18th centuries, but by the 19th century, economic difficulties, famines, and social unrest were increasing. Knowledge of Western culture gradually reached Japan through books brought by the Dutch. This isolation period ended in 1853 When U.S. Commodore Matthew Perry arrived in Edo Bay with warships, Perry demanded that Japan open its ports to trade. The shogunate, unable to resist militarily, had to comply. This sparked major domestic opposition. In 1868, the Meiji Restoration took place. The emperor regained central authority, and Japan entered a rapid modernization process. Railways, telegraphs, modern education, and a centralized army were quickly established. Japan first fought China, 1894 to 1895, and then Russia, 1904 to 1905, achieving major military victories and becoming one of the region's dominant powers. Korea was officially annexed in 1910. In the 1930s, Japan pursued expansionist policies across Asia, raising tensions with the U.S. and Europe. On December 7, 1941, Japan attacked the U.S. naval base at Pearl Harbor, entering World War II. The war continued with fierce conflicts across the Pacific. On August 6 and 9, 1945, the U.S. dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, prompting Japan to surrender. After the war, Japan was occupied by U.S.-led Allied forces. The military was disbanded, the country democratized, and the economy rebuilt. From the 1950s onward, Japan's economy grew rapidly, and by the 1960s, it had become one of the world's largest economies. Advances in electronics, automotive, and industry established Japan as a modern global power. Today, Japan is known for its high standard of living, advanced technology, and global cultural influence.